Have you ever asked yourself, is that okay that I've touched myself there for the 5th time this Monday? Or what should I do if the girl that I like doesn't answer me back? I wasn't closer than 10 meters from her and I look like this. You might have. There were many people that asked the same questions, even at different times they have, and there were almost always people who could answer them. In Neolithic era there were shamans, Egyptians had cats and most likely aliens, Greeks had oracles and sages, people from Middle Ages had priests and fire shows, Renaissance had Brotherhood of Assassins, and all of them had a thing in common. It wasn't love for kids and substances, although it's pretty suspicious that the blood of our savior is embodied in liquor. All of those people were tightly connected to God, thus to the virtue and rightfulness. Yet the time went by, most of the people got a concept of what letters are, therefore creating a whole industry of porn romances and education on the side. This created a problem in which people saw that there are no bearded guys on the clouds that throw lightnings or kill gay people, so the stunks of many spiritual establishments went negatively up. People became their own moral staples, no fear of the highest powers was left. It was greatly summarized by Nietzsche in his quote, "God is dead. And we killed that bitch!" Now we should make our own moral compass in which jerking off to trans women is not gay, or something like this. Didn't really read him. If we were to kill the most precious thing for the most of the people, the yardstick of what good and bad is, the reason to live for many, we should have taken his place and become the measurement for everything. And we kind of did, although we didn't really have guts to do it properly. The profligates we are, we began to allow anything and everything, destroying any boundaries, became weak and pathetic. The degeneracy became a new norm. The consumeristic society is trying to sell us on shit we don't need. The reality of today encourages any lifestyle besides the one that will make you healthy and sane. And in the world like this, where righteous and petty has changed its place, it is very hard to find yourself in it, especially as a young man. I refer to the young men mainly because this is the target audience of this channel and of the topic on which I'll try to talk later. I think it's very relatable for you to feel yourself lost, suppress your own thoughts and opinions, feeling alone, never having someone to ask an advice or get help from. And this is where the name on the title of this video comes to play. Joshua Graham. A charismatic man with the most fucking listenable voice on this planet. This is my statement.
Lastly, waging war against good people is bad for the soul. This may not seem important to you now, but it's the most important thing I've said.
And a story worthy of a few books behind his back. The man was raised on the ashes of the old world by Mormons as a true Christian, though through time his views wandered from turning the other cheek to spreading the cheeks of his opponents with casted iron. On par with Edward Sallow, then Caesar, he built an empire which narrowed down women's rights to carrying heavy bags and babies, and human rights in general to those of Taliban or Russia. Eventually, after his only defeat at Hoover Dam, Caesar made an example of Joshua by setting him on fire and throwing down the Black Canyon.
After I failed Caesar and he had me burned alive, thrown into the Grand Canyon. I survived because the fire inside burned brighter than the fire around me. I fell down into that dark chasm. The flame burned on and on. The next morning, I woke up and crawled out of the northern edge of the Grand Canyon, that cursed place. It took me 3 months to reach New Canaan. It was as though the prodigal son had returned. They welcomed me like I had never left, never done anything to shame them. The fire that had kept me alive was love. Their love. God's love. I will never be able to repay the debt I owe to them. But I must try.
The man who was on the both sides of history, which made him to be baptized twice, once in water and once in fire. There is no wonder that exactly this man was picked by us, gamer master race, for our guidance in this cruel world. He's an example of maturity, strength, kindness, responsibility and redemption. And he also has a fucking great weapon cleaning animation. Oh my god! Ain't this shit is just sexy as hell! Anyways, you might have seen the many videos with this mommy on the thumbnail. Joshua Graham teaches you on how to be a man. Joshua Graham teaches you on how to find a woman. Joshua Graham teaches you on how to clean your willy, etc, etc. The thing is that the most of these videos are pure gold in itself. The deep, scratchy voice of Mr. Graham, which shares the knowledge of Marcus Aurelius, Nietzsche, Plato, Sunzi, Carl Jung, and many others in a very digestible 10 to 15 minutes format. This one is a fascinating phenomenon. The utilization of AI to help people in search of answers by those who are in search of answers themselves. It was genius to make the wisdom of centuries so approachable for people all over the world. If you're a gamer, with a good taste of course, you'll be intrigued by the character of Joshua Graham, thus by his ideas as well. If you ain't into the games and was plainly in search of answers, you'd most likely stay because of the timbre of the burnt man's voice and the way he presents the information. But not only this is so interesting about it, almost always Joshua Graham stays in the character, and being the Christian he is, he presents most of the information from a very Christian perspective. After all these years of woke culture and many laughs that were thrown onto the Christianity, it lost any credibility for many people. Yet seeing how this religion helped the burned man to redeem himself and how well it lays on the thoughts he preaches, it's very hard to perceive it in any other way than positive. European and American societies were built on the principles of Christianity, and most of the successful societies nowadays are prospering because of the help of people with Christian software. If you are a European or an American, you need to understand that even if you are a complete atheist, your views and ethics are mostly based on the Christian tradition, which makes you a Christian in your core. And that's why many of Joshua's words resonate with us so well. Joshua Graham presents Christianity not as a religion of slaves, like how it was perceived by Nietzsche and still is perceived by many people of today, but as a one for people of strong morals and, not less important, strong deeds. I have seen many comments of people who said that they have become Christians or came back to it after watching the videos of Joshua. And I completely understand this sentiment. Joshua Graham is truly a phenomenon which only could be created by the society of today, and I'm really excited to see the consequences it may bring in the future. Who knows, maybe Joshua will become the first virtual saint in the world. Thank you, beautiful people, for spending your precious, never-returning time on this video. There is more to come. Come.